All right, so at this point, you should have completed the activity and submitted it. So let's go over it. It says, if the pattern continues, what will we see in step 5 and step 18? Well, first of all, what is the pattern? So I see one box in the middle surrounded by 1, 2, 3, 4 boxes. And I kind of notice that I see that every time. There's 4 boxes on the outside. So I'm pretty sure that that's part of the pattern. So there are 4 boxes on the outside. Then I notice that whatever my step number is somehow related to the middle box. So 1 equals 1, okay? But here I have 2 equals 4. How do I get 2 equals 4? How do I get, let's not say equals, let's put like a little arrow. How do I get from 2 to 4? And then here again, how do I get from 3 to 9? Well, if you're paying attention during the warm-up, the easiest way to do that is 1 times 1, 2 times 2, and 3 times 3. Okay? It has to be that. Even though 2 plus 2 will give me 4, the pattern has to stay consistent. And 1 plus 1 won't give me 1, and 3 plus 3 won't give me 9. So it has to be multiplication. And these I can all simplify as 1 squared, 2 squared, and 3 squared. But even if you didn't see it that way and you still made some type of connection, that's great. You still should have been able to tell that step 5, you didn't necessarily have to do it mathematically like I did, but you still should have been able to see that step 5 was going to be, don't mind this terrible box. We're just going to pretend that this is accurate. Okay, you still should have been able to tell that step 5 was going to end up looking something like this. Hopefully you guys have better artistic drawing skills than I do, because these are terrible squares. All right, so let's just pretend those are actually squares. But you should have been able to tell that it was going to be a 5 by 5 in the middle, and then plus the 1, 2, 3, 4 on the outside. And same goes for 18. Step 18, this is going to be even worse. I'm just actually going to write it. So it should be an 18. I'm not going to fill in the inside. 18 by 18 on the inside, and then with the 4 on the outside. Okay? So that's what that should look like. That follows my pattern. Whatever my step number is, that is the array. 1 by 1, 2 by 2, 3 by 3, 5 by 5, 18 by 18. So now it says how many small squares are in each of these. Well, I can tell that because this is a 5 by 5. 5 times 5 is 25. So for this one, it gives me 25. But then I also have to add my 4 on the outside. So then for step 18, just get my calculator and do 18 times 18. And that gives me, it's supposed to be a colon, 324. But then I have to add the 4 from the outside as well. So this gives me 29 for step 5. And this gives me 328 for step 18. Explain how I know. Well, I just explained it. So, but you would need to just write a little blurb that explains how you know. So now it says write an equation. Hopefully you guys didn't struggle too much on this. So I'm noticing I could have written 25 as 5 squared plus 4. I could have written 324 as 18 squared plus 4. And I can go back and do that same thing. 1 squared plus 4. 2 squared plus 4. 3 squared plus 4. I can do that for all the steps that we have so far. And what do I notice? Well, I notice that whatever my step number is, 5, 18, 1, 2, or 3, whatever my step number is being squared or multiplied by itself. And then it always has a plus 4 tacked on at the end. So, well, I'm thinking that this should be expressed by n squared plus 4. But it's not asking for an expression. It's asking for an equation. And it tells me that it's a relationship between the step number n and the number of squares y. So I'm going to write y equals. And that is the equation.